Meanwhile, you see what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, Yo-Yo?
No,
You don't even know.
no, what
You
happened?
see, most Americans don't care what happens in the Ukraine. They don't really
I'm not
care.
gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
Yeah.
But
Now,
I have to for
Vladimir
this.
Putin has 150,000 troops and Navy personnel surrounding the Ukraine. Ukraine is on the border between Russia
Oh,
and
yes, yes, that I
Ukraine.
know.
It's like Mexico and the United States. During
Right.
during the Cold War, Ukraine was part of the USSR. After the Berlin Wall fell and Gorbachev and Yeltsin and the Cold War was over, Ukraine has become a democratic country, fledgling democratic country, yet
Right.
a democratic country. Since then, many countries around that area, including Poland and Romania, have joined North American Treaty Organization, NATO. NATO is the countries that have come together to collectively protect each other. France, Germany, UK, United States, Canada, Italy, Spain, all part of NATO. Now Poland and Romania. And as part of NATO, if any one country is attacked, they attack all the countries. That's the treaty. So they all come to the defense of one another. So now there's a situation where Putin is saying he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. Now, Ukraine has never going to be joining NATO for a very long time. So there's more to what's going on than Putin doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. I'll tell you what my assessment of what's going on between the United States and Russia. And by the way, we don't want ever the United States and Russia coming to a war
go in
because
war.
we have nuclear weapons pointing at each other.
Yeah.
In 1972, Yo-Yo, I'm going to give you a brief history lesson so I can give everybody an idea exactly what's going on. In 1972, the United States and then the USSR signed a treaty, an anti-ballistic missile treaty. Anti-ballistic missile is basically missile defense. You shoot up a missile, we can shoot it down. They agreed not to make any military equipment that could shoot down a missile. Now that doesn't make sense really, because you said, why shouldn't we ever be able to shoot down a missile? Well, the thinking was back in 1972, if Russia has 10,000 nuclear weapons pointing at us, we have 15,000 to 20, we had like double what Russia had pointing at them. It's mutually assured destruction. We would nuke each other and kill everybody. So because we have this mutually assured destruction, we're never going to go to war against each other, because we would never go to that point where we would kill world civilization. Jump ahead to 2005, President George Bush withdrew from the anti-ballistic missile treaty. He said the United States is now going to make military equipment that will be able to shoot down nuclear weapons if a nuclear weapon or a nuclear missile is shot off into the United States of America. Now, what makes Russia a world power is their nuclear weapons. If they don't have effective nuclear weapons, they're no longer a world power, because Russia doesn't have the size of the economy of the United States or the technology of the United States. Russia lives off their natural resources, and they have lots of nuclear weapons. That's what makes them a world power. So if the United States makes anti-ballistic missiles to shoot down Russian nuclear weapons and ultimately makes their nuclear weapons program moot, Russia's no longer a superpower, and the United States can go do whatever they choose to do in any country, including invade Russia. And what would Russia ever be able to do to stop them? Nothing. Because we have nuclear weapons, they don't, because we can shoot down their nuclear weapons. So in 2016, in Romania, which is now part of NATO, they have a military base with anti-ballistic missile systems. They're putting another one in Poland, which is supposed to go in operation in the next 9 months. Now, according to the United States of America, They say, we're not interested in shooting down Russian nuclear weapons. We're doing this to protect against the rogue nation, like Kim Jong-un in North Korea or Iran, who may now or in the future have the ability to shoot a nuclear weapon at us. So we're putting these facilities in Poland and Romania to be able to shoot down those weapons. We're not interested in Russian nuclear weapons. We know they're not going to, shoot weapons at us. But Russia doesn't know that. So now Putin wants NATO out of these countries. And they want these anti-ballistic missiles out of these countries because otherwise Russia becomes no longer a superpower, because the United States has now the ability to shoot down Russian nuclear weapons like they have the ability to shoot down a nuclear weapon from Iran or North Korea. That's the concern Putin has. So he's making this big controversy that I'm going to invade Ukraine as a bargaining chip to get NATO to pull out their military equipment, and especially these anti-ballistic missiles, out of Eastern Europe. That's what's going on. How it's going to end, I have no idea. You get it, Yo-Yo?
I do.
So right now, they're still negotiating. I don't think Putin wants to invade Ukraine, but you never know. Because if Putin invades Ukraine, there's a war. There will be dead bodies going back to Russia. And just like in any country, if you have enough dead bodies going back to your country, because of a war, there's going to be unrest in the street. Why are we at war? Why is our men and boys coming back in body bags? Putin could be out of power too if the war doesn't go well for Russia. And you know what happens in Russia when you come out of power? It's not going to end well for Putin. He may not be alive. They can kill him. They can put him in, jail. He has to stay in power till he dies. This guy.
Jeez.
So I don't know what's going to happen. But this is all one big bluff to get NATO to get out of Eastern Europe. But they're not going to get out of Eastern Europe. So I don't know what's going to happen. But right now, they say, at least in the news, that Russia's pulling back a little bit. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.